Hi YouTube. I'm back. I look a little wild, but that's because I am now coming off of a week and a half long camping trip that I didn't think that I would be able to do, but we did, and it's been really interesting enough so that I thought I would talk about it. The event that I'm at is called Armistice, and the group that I play with is called the Society for Creative Anachronisms, but Armistice was not held by them. It was held by just a bunch of folks that play in the SCA, play in other groups, and we do everything from, there's been foam fighting here, there's been live steel fighting here, there's been rattan fighting, lots of folks that are in armor, and I have a merchant booth. So let's see. See, there's my service dog Murph, and we've got, like, right now all the tent walls are about to come down and we're packing up, but I have this massive space that has been filled. You see, there's my neighbors. This massive space that's been filled with clothing and all kinds of items that I've collected from the Middle East, and we sell them, and it's been incredible because this event paid for my new prosthetic leg. So on Tuesday, in just a couple days, I get to have my new leg and I am stoked. Oh my gosh. So Peggy, as she is now known, has been, for the most part since surgery, just really amazing. I was in so much absolute insane pain before, and the best way I can describe it is it felt like stepping on glass and getting hit in the shin with a hammer every time I took a step. So with the amputation, literally the minute it came off, like, I got into recovery and I was feeling fantastic. They didn't really give me pain meds. I mean, it was amazing. I've had some nerve pain since. Just a little. There was 10 days in recovery where I experienced a lot of nerve pain, but that's, I mean, it was nothing like what I was dealing with on a normal basis. And occasionally now I get, sorry, I have a bug trying to get my camera. Occasionally now I'll have little bouts where it's just like, you know, all of a sudden it'll zap, or all of a sudden it'll feel like it's being burned. But it lasts about 30 seconds. And it's so infrequent that, you know, I just kind of blow it off. The thing that's been interesting is I don't feel hot or cold anymore in the stump. So when it starts to ache, it's you know, I kind of sit there and go, oh my God, my leg is really hurting. Like, why? Like, and then I feel it and it's an ice cube. So if I just put a sock on or put something over it or whatever, a lot of times if I'm wearing sweatpants, I'll just kind of throw the sweatpant down and pin it or something so that it gets a little bit extra warmth. Of course, having the shrinker on, like with the shrinker, I don't have any problems because the shrinker is a double layer and it keeps it warm. So it's been a journey that has just been absolutely amazing and fantastic and life-altering, obviously, but in a very, very good and positive way. The thing that's been funny is folks keep seeing me and they're like, you're extremely bouncy and you're extremely happy and you're a lot lighter and more smiley than you've ever been. I'm not in pain. So chronic pain does some really amazing things to your body, but all in the negative. I mean, it will change your entire perception of the world when all you feel is constant, crazy pain. So when you're not feeling that and you can just experience the world in a great way, of course it makes you happier. Plus, when you have a big old goofball like this, who's taking care of you, it makes things pretty good. Murphy has been an absolute riot at this event. So it's his first big event, and it was a test because he's still technically a pup, and although he's pretty good in terms of training, he's still a pup. So we were not nervous per se, because I had a feeling he was going to do awesome, but I wasn't quite sure if he was going to be good about staying in a tent or about staying within his lane in terms of not running off and playing, but being on the job pretty much all the time. And for this event, because he absolutely despises his vest, we didn't have him on the vest. We kept a chain on him, on his neck, that said, "I'm a service dog." And then we just basically let him do his job. And what he did was exactly what he's supposed to do. If I was feeling stressed out or pain, because there was a lot of pain at this event, he would jump up and give me a hug. If he thought that I needed him for a little bit, he would come over and he would lay down with me. He didn't leave my side. His eyes were always trained on me. If I left the tent, he was with me, and I didn't even need to leash him. I just stayed, he just stayed right by my left side. And there were a couple other dogs here that were supposedly service dogs, but I actually had people come up and tell me, we now know exactly what a service dog is, because Murphy has led the charge, and Murphy has been literally the best example. So he did a great job, and he definitely gets a lot of treats. So we're going home today, and we're all excited, and he gets to see his brother. So we're pretty sure that as soon as we pull in and get inside the house, all hell's gonna break loose, and it's gonna be an amazingly fun puppy time. Right, Murph? I know. You're excited to go home, but he doesn't like the drive. He hates being in a car. Murphy did get himself, we think, into poison ivy, which was really fun. He's had a ton of bumps and stuff all over him, so he's been getting Benadryl. The other thing too is that Murphy is the craziest fetcher, and we've been using Chewies as his bone, or as his fetch stick, because he's literally eaten all the sticks around my camp area. So we started using these Chewies, and it's hysterical because if you're fetching with him, that's great. He gets really excited, but then he also will start to play fetch with himself, and he will throw them up in the air, and then he catches them joyously and shakes his head about, and it's just the goofiest thing ever. And it's definitely an awesome way to start your day, is to see such a happy dog. You can't be upset when you see this. So we play fetch every morning, and he's just been having a good time. But now he's tearing apart his Chewy, so I don't think we're fetching that anymore. I could be wrong. He brought me some crazy things to fetch with. But this is really, really good news. Fetching with this dog is not just about fetching. It's not just about playing a game. This is actually part of his training. When he gets back and I get my prosthetic, one of the things that we're going to get him trained up on, and this is all through Braveheart Kennels. They have been amazing in that they donated the training. I had a member of the armed services, the Army that I trained with at Fort Leavenworth, who purchased Murphy for me. So thank you. He's a good buddy, and he is my brother. So I am so excited to have him in my life. And then he bought Murphy for me, and Braveheart, who bred the dogs, then donated the actual training, and it's such a blessing. So we are going to send Murph back, and Murphy will be using that strong fetch drive to learn how to do things like fetch my prosthetic, or fetch my shrinker, or fetch the linings, or whatever I might need at the time, instead of having to hop around the house or crawl or whatever. So doing these fetch exercises for him seems like it's a whole lot of fun, and he certainly has fun doing it. But it's to increase his fetch drive and to make sure that as a service dog, he's able to do those additional tasks. Murphy will also be trained in doing mobility assistance, which he already does. I had a special harness made for him that has a really long handle on it. And with that handle, if I start to lose balance in any way, I can grab the handle, and it helps just do that real quick, like rebalance and then sit back up. But I don't really use him for like leaning on, and I don't use him to get up, although he is fully capable of doing that. I don't know, I feel weird about it. So what were the challenges? The challenges at this event were that being in grass and uneven ground, and having to do this without having my leg was kind of nightmarish in the challenge. So I was using, so there's a porta potty and then this scooter. This is a standard Roscoe. I've had this little puppy for about 10 years because I've had 13 surgeries. So it's actually like rusted and beaten up and parts are broken and put back together. But it has been the most amazing scooter. And if you ever have issues with your feet or had surgery or whatever, seriously look at knee scooters. And the Roscoe brand has just been amazing. And I think it was like $225 when we bought it. And I mean, man, it's been just worth its weight in gold. So I've been using the Roscoe around the camp, and then we have a pet, it's called a PET scooter, and it's an upright scooter that I was trying to use around, oh shush, I'm not gonna play fetch now. Shush. With the pet scooter, it's an upright scooter, unlike other mobility assist where they're like 4-wheeled or 3-wheeled and low and stable. This one is a little bit higher and you sit upright. The problem is it doesn't work well over tree stumps. So or tree roots for that matter. So I was trying to get around my camp in order to, go shopping. There's a ton of other merchants that are here, go to the food court. There's actually a lady that's here, and it's part of a farm family that runs this campground. And so they had homemade meals every night. And so I was, wanted to be able to partake in that. But I was going out, and the whole reason we had the scooter was, try and use the bathroom, try and go out and see the merchants, talk to friends, etc. But the scooter dumped me. So I was trying to go over a small lump in the ground that was some tree roots, and the entire thing tipped over. And when it did that, I fell because there's no leg, and I hit my back on the back wheel, and then my entire stump came down on my neighbor's tent spike, which is a wrought iron giant spike. I don't have any around here that I can show you, but they're about 1.5 inches thick, and they are 12 inches long of curved steel. And you could have a hurricane blow through, and those tent stakes will keep your tent in the ground. But they don't feel good when you land on them. And I landed right on the bone. So with the stump, you can see right here, the tibia still comes out. It hit right there. So there was some concern about whether or not it was going to be damaged and if it was going to put me off of getting my prosthetic. The problem is I've fallen 5 separate times here and have progressively continued to hit that stump. And so there's been a little bit of fear. I'm now absolutely terrified of the scooter, and just basically use the little Roscoe now. But it just puts a lot of pressure on you because it's going under, uneven ground, or going across carpets, because we have carpets here inside the tent, on top of uneven ground. It's a lot of work. So I've gotten a ton of workouts at this particular event just from trying to move. But it was still good. It was something that I needed to try to see what it was going to be like. I didn't really like the falling part, but I got back up. And I got to see the love and caring of my friends and the people around here who came to my assistance. But I got back up, and I kept on going, and I kept that smile on my face, even though what I wanted to do was scream and cry. So it taught some valuable lessons this week. I can't say that I regret doing this event. It would have been a whole lot better with a leg. But next year I get to do it with a leg, and I'm even more excited because once I get that, I can not only just function normally, but I'll also be able to start practicing to get back out on the battlefield. So I'll be out there fighting with some of the other folks. Probably not in melees. Probably won't do anything wild and crazy. But I do have my ballista, and it's a 6-foot tall crossbow that I get to whack people with. So I get to have big bolts and shoot them off in the fly. So I will be able to get back on the battlefield and fight again. And that will be a ton of fun. Other than that, there are a bunch of other things that I could talk about, but I don't want to keep this too terribly long. In a nutshell, it's been 3 months now, and this has just been the most amazing and joyous event, having this amputation. So it's been a wild ride so far. I have had my fittings. I have gotten to walk. I got to walk 38 steps when I did my first fitting right before the event. So that was amazing. And yeah, we've had some fun things that have been happening here. So maybe I'll try and catch up with those videos. I actually recorded them and realized that they didn't actually record. So I thought that I was recording and spoke and then didn't have them. So I haven't tried to re-record. But I wanted to capture this and just tell everybody it's just a fun and beautiful day. And I probably should have been recording during the event, but there was just too much going on. So now you just get the end of it. Those are my sleeping kids. I get to go wake them now. All right, you have a fantastic day, and I will try and remember to post more, definitely about this journey, because on Tuesday I get that leg. So I will talk more about that. Goodbye.